Don't look at me, twat. I'm just joking. Ooh, I forgot my SIM card, so that was looking amazing. I'm just joking. I could take advantage. No, I'm not setting that up. I was like, I could take advantage of my ring light, but I'm not going to. So I'm gonna put this down, take my jacket off, and make myself feel at home. Turn this on. Bing, sparkle, sparkle. I don't know where I'm gonna put you now. I don't know where I'm gonna set you though. I could hold you, like the good old days. Just joking, never happened. Just sit like that for a second while I take my jacket off. I could find a way to prop you up. I know I can, because I'm capable of anything I want to be capable of. Yeah, I can't do makeup because I have this. I got eczema. I got eczema. Found something, but I'm not gonna tell you what it is. If I did, I'd be arrested around town. And then I will probably most likely just use this to hold up my phone. Some of you guys may be like, Sarah, what do you have that is going to be helping prop up the phone? So I have this. One of you guys sent this to me in my P.O. box like 3 years ago, maybe longer ago. It was probably 4 or 5 years ago by now. But it is the Michael Jackson Ultimate Collection. So, I told you, I live in the house of a living museum. Even tells you everything on the back. Don't hate. Appreciate. Alright, so, I don't want you to feel, unwanted. Like I sometimes do. Alright. The key to success is to not feel awkward in your own skin. Aren't we all working on that? But yeah, one of you guys asked me what happened. Winter happened. Stress happened. Dry skin. I promised myself I wouldn't get mad. Just joking. So, today I have my trusty notebook, and I told you guys that I've been wanting to talk to you about ways that I've been, for the past 37 years, keeping myself calm, cool, and collected. If I can even find the fucker. Found it. Alright. Don't read my freaking journal. The hell? So, as you can see, the first thing I did was I got comfortable. First, let's talk about what grounding ourselves are. Sorry, I am all over the place. At first, I did not intend to record with my phone. So, I'm out of my comfort zone. I didn't intend to use my phone, so I'm a little scattered. But the reason why I wanted to make this video about how I keep myself grounded and just ways that I relax, even if I'm not relaxed, it's just ways that I, try to just either work through my emotions, or if I need to just, take a little break from my emotions, here's some things that I do to do so. Now, the reason why I wanted to make this is because I think now, Jesus Lord, with all of the stuff that is going on, I think it is immensely important for us to still set aside, time every single day, you guys, even if it's 15 minutes, come on now. But even if it's 15 minutes, we need a break, because this world is crazy, our thoughts are being crazy right now, the media is being crazy. There's really no comfort zone to go to. As much as we're trying to step outside of our comfort zone, we still need ways to feel relaxed and at home wherever that may be. And I've always said home is where the heart is, where the soul is. So we need to feel at home in our home. It sounds so silly. Okay, so how do I ground myself? I thought that might be a little frustrating for you to be looking at the glare of the light in my eyes, so I'll take off my bifocals. They're not bifocals, they're straight not. Okay. So, I also told myself that I kind of want to not be as serious as I have been being in my videos. You know, like, I don't know, with all of the stuff that has been going on, I kind of feel weird being weird, if that, like, I know somebody's like, what are you talking about, but, like, cracking jokes and just being awkward, sometimes a weird voice in my head is like, dude, don't make other people perceive you as being weird, like, when the world is going crazy. It's almost like, you know, I've been in this situation before and I've talked to you guys about it. I know this sounds so silly, but there's a lot of stuff happening, so trauma is trauma. We don't really need to always try to explain ourselves, but lately I've kind of been feeling like I did when I was dealing with my parents and just other hard times, where I felt bad or guilty for laughing, cracking jokes, being goofy, or like I've always had a interesting sense of humor, a dry sense of humor, a strange sense of humor, where I always have to make sure people know I'm kidding. So I always used to joke about what was happening in life because I'm just like, I don't know why, I can't help it. I'm always goofy, and like I love that about me, but then another part is like, dude, there's time and a place. But it's like, she can't find that time or place. It's all the time. But I've been feeling guilty for just not really being serious while the world is being so serious, and I feel like I shouldn't be guilty or apologetic or feel like I need to explain myself or being goofy or always say, you know, I'm just kidding, because I know most of you guys know when I'm kidding, which is, it's all the time, but I'm also being serious a lot of the time too. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to get that out there. I wanted to stop being so serious with expressing the information that I'm learning, or the new ways I'm starting to think, or, you know, not even new ways I'm thinking, but just the way I think. Yeah, I've just been being a little bit serious, and I can tell, and it's been harshing my mellow a little bit, so I just want to loosen up. So I wanted to make a list of the ways that I find myself loosening up, getting back into my mojo, or just feeling myself while the chaotic times are going on. Because as much as I'm goofy and stuff, that doesn't mean I'm not stressed, you know what I mean? It's like anxiety is anxiety, even if she's whimpering through as a joke. Okay, so I wrote down a little list. I think it would be really helpful for you guys to do this as well, because as we did with the timeline of stepping outside of our comfort zone, and it made us realize, damn, dude, I've been through a lot of stuff, I've done a lot of stuff, let me take a second and pat myself on the back, everything's gonna be okay, right? When I made this list of stuff, I was kind of like, dang, either there's a lot of stuff I'm not doing right now that I know would really help me and benefit me positively, even if it's for just 5 minutes, like we talked about, but yeah, it just opened my mind to realizing that there's a lot of stuff out there that I'm capable of doing to help my mind, body, soul, spirit, physically, mentally, socially, economically, financially. I don't think anything can help the economy right now. We can help ourselves, though, our own economy in our heads and in our lives. Okay, so yeah, it just made me realize that, hey, I can be doing other things than just sitting here, either trying to do one thing to take my mind away from things or help me feel better, and it's not working. I have a lot of other things that I could be doing. This just reminded me that. So I think that if you wrote down a list, you know, you could either pause this video and just really quickly write down a quick little list, think about it really fast of ways that you ground yourself, ways that you relax yourself, ways that, or just activities, what you like to do, what, you know, brings you peace. Write down a quick little list, even if it's like 5 things, and maybe you could see if some of the stuff we have in common. So sisters. Or brothers. We're all brothers and sisters, so we could be cousins if you... Anyway, but yeah, take the time, even if it's after this, after you listen to the things that I do, and maybe you're like, dude, none of those things would bring me joy at all, it'd make me feel like I was living in a pit of hell. Maybe you can write your own list of things, and like I said, just see what you could be adding to your day-to-day routine that could, you know, give you a little pizzazz. Give yourself a cookie. Eat the cookie. Remember that video? You better. So, my first thing is music, for one. But I have to italicize, put in bold, and underline, maybe even put a space between each letter. It has to be happy. We can't go and listen to the thing that made us cry in 2001 when we were going through, like, puberty. We were just a tween. We can't be listening to that. We can't be listening to the sad tofu. These sad oh my god, soulful. I guess I've been eating a lot of soul food lately. I can't speak right. I'm just joking. Holy moly. It has to be happy music. We cannot put on a playlist that we know is going to remind us of a bad time. That's going to remind us of a bad person, or maybe a good person that we don't have anymore. Like, I have so many songs that my mom and I used to listen to that used to make me happy, but now when I want to play them, and I'm like, dude, just come on, listen to a song that used to make you happy. Then I listen to it, and I'm just like, all around me are familiar faces. Yeah, worn out places, that's for sure. You don't want to listen to songs that make you feel that way, you know? So, you guys know me. Follow me on SoundCloud. Follow me on here. I like a lot of good songs. I have a little playlist on here called, like, Mellow Tunes or something along that line. I use Pandora, but you can't follow me there. Not yet. I got some good news coming for you in 2021. I'm just lying. There's no such thing as following on Pandora. Watch them hear this, though, and they put my idea into work. If that happens in the future, no, I called it. I put a trademark on it. I won't be mad if I'm not making money, but just know I was the one that spit out the idea. Me writing that down also made me realize how inactive I have been in finding new music. Yeah, and I also really like to try to allow my videos to have some happy music, and music that will make you feel good about yourself. So I really recommend a way to ground yourself, or, you know, just a way that I ground myself is listening to some beneficial music. Heck, I have another thing on here. If it's not music, listen to a podcast or listen to a YouTube video. Those are ways that really help me. So my next one that I have is drawing. And it's really interesting because I've loved drawing my whole entire life. It's something that I've always done. When I stop, I can tell. And what's even more interesting is I picked up a new technique now that I'm like starting to draw again. I'll show you in here because I have some little pictures. Cat hair everywhere. But I started doing these weird squigglies when I used to just do really smooth, straight lines, if that makes sense. But now I'm over here, like, you know, I've always drawn weird things, but they've never, I started adding, like, circles inside of them, so, I don't know, it's just really interesting. I also have a little theory that the reason why I'm a little bit like whoa in my drawings is because my mind is a little bit whoa. When I used to draw back in the day, I simply did it to just do it. Like, it wasn't something that I'm like, alright dude, you're a little stressed out, why don't you pick up a pen and draw? It was literally, hey dude, just why don't you feel like drawing? So my mind was a lot calmer, and I could tell that my drawings were a lot calmer. And I even wrote a little note to myself, and I said that I noticed all of the faces that I draw are never smiling. And it brought me back to this theory that I have where, I don't know when it became a thing that every time a camera gets pulled out or every time it's time to take a picture, everybody has to smile. I used to look at my family portraits back from like when my grandparents were younger, and everybody had a straight face. Everybody was serious. There'd be a group of like 20 people all standing outside. It's like a black and white photo. I could show it to you, but I really don't feel like getting up. And everybody was just straight faced, and it's not because nobody was happy. I think it was just because it was the notion of like, why do I need to fake a smile just because the camera's out? You know, or like I know my photo is being taken. I don't need to be like, you know what I mean? So I just have this weird theory in my head that some pictures are toxic because of the fact that a lot of us feel the need to smile. Like, if you guys, I know some of you might follow me on Instagram. I don't think I have a picture of me smiling on my Instagram. Because, you know, you don't have to smile to be happy. And I know that might sound so weird, and it might just be something that works with me. But I just noticed that, and I'm going off on a tangent, which I knew I would, and I wanted to stay on topic. But drawing has always been something that has helped me forever and ever. And I know I showed you guys my little notebook right here in my last video where, dude, you can do art in any shape or form. I used to take pictures of my mom, and it literally is like a form of therapy. I would write myself notes, take pages from books. It's relaxing because it can be a beautiful mess. you know, and our minds are beautiful messes. That's at least what I believe, and I think that's kind of the journey of life, is to try to figure out how to mingle through the mess and make it a beautiful French braid that can fly through the wind. But in the meantime, we got to figure out, you know, what we're doing, and I have definitely found that art, it's very useful. It doesn't have to be perfect. I've started learning that the older I've gotten. I used to just, I've always had a problem with being a perfectionist, but once you kind of just let that weight off your shoulders go, and realize you might not be perfect, it's all about progress, you'll start realizing that you kind of enjoy the art that you start making, you know? Like, I'll draw things and not finish them, and it might look weird to other people, but this is just a nose and a mouth, and they don't have any eyes yet. It's just helpful to allow our minds to express themselves in a way that is not words, that doesn't make sense, you know? Meaning that sentence kind of didn't make sense, but we don't have to make sense in our art, you know? It doesn't matter always how the other person perceives it. Other people may never see your artwork. That's kind of the beauty of it. You can hide things in your artwork, but you're still expelling them from your body, if that makes sense. So you might have a whole bunch going on in your head that you don't have anybody to talk about, or you don't think anybody will understand, even if you do try to talk about it. You think you'll just find yourself trying to explain yourself to somebody that listens like a brick wall. You can express that in your art. You can draw faces that you see, or, you know, your nightmares or your dreams or things like that. You get these things out of your head and onto paper, and I have just found that that helps me a lot. So the next thing that I have on my list is writing, and that's a huge reason why I have this little journal here. And this used to be my dad's, but I stole it, and he never used it. Just having something to write on, it can be at any moment. It doesn't have to be pretty writing. It doesn't have to be happy writing. It can be the most negative thoughts you've ever had it going through your head. Getting them out, like I said, it's amazing not having that stuff swirling around in your head. It's like trying to go through a whirlpool, like a funnel that doesn't have a bottom, and you're just forever spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning, but it never goes out. When you, like, take the funnel away from your head and put it over paper, and like I said, whether that be art, but especially that be writing, you start, like, thinking clearer, if that makes sense, because not everything is just a jumbled mess in your head. When you get them out, and then you read them, and you realize and understand how you've been thinking or perceiving things, or just, I don't know, the things that you choose to write down, the things that you choose to remember and save, it either starts showing you, at least for me personally, that maybe I'm focusing on the wrong things. Maybe I'm only remembering the negative things that have been happening throughout the day, or, you know, the negative parts of my life. I'm not really writing down the good things that have happened. I'm not talking about the good things, you know? It's like I'm almost playing into the chaos that's happening outside in the outside world. It's like I already got chaos going on in my head, so I understand how hard it is right now. I promise, and it's okay that it's hard. You know, it is absolutely silly for us to expect all of the chaos outside and all the chaos on the inside of our heads to, like, mix into one flower. Nah, we gotta figure it out, right? So I just think taking that funnel and putting it over a piece of paper, it just helps a lot. And another thing that I have right here is I write on my walls too, and it's mostly in my closet. I know that sounds so weird, but I don't care. It is so helpful, and it's something that I've been doing for, like, the past, like, since my mom passed away, so years now. I've been doing it for so long, and when I go back and I read the things that, like I said, I chose to write on my walls, it's crazy, you know. And don't worry about, you know, like, cool, I probably shouldn't be saying this, like, if you rent a place or it's not really your place, dude, rubbing alcohol does wonders, nail polish remover does wonders. Go to Home Depot and get a chip of paint that, like, you know, chip the paint off of your wall, go get a perfect matching at Home Depot, and paint over it. It's possible, but it's cool. It's like, it almost makes you realize, okay, I get why it's fun for people to draw, you know, amazing murals on walls. It's different creating art that is off of paper, if that makes sense. So it's almost like, you know, as a kid, you were always told, don't write on the walls, don't write on the walls. I write on my walls now, and it is the coolest and funnest experience ever. I've been wanting to actually make, like, a tree of life on the wall in my closet and, like, somehow paint it, or just, I don't know, but I have ideas, and it's kind of like, why not do them? Like, why are we just holding ourselves back from stuff that we know in our heads would be fun? So go freaking write on the inside of your cabinet in the bathroom, you know, a wooden cabinet. Open up the cabinet. Nobody's gonna see that. Nobody goes into my, who's gonna go into my closet? I sometimes even forget that it's there, you know what I mean? I'll show you one day. I can just show you right now. But I have like see, and the art that you guys have also made, I put on my walls because it helps me feel good. So you have to literally, this has faded. See, so I used to have so see all the she's? I wrote down all the things my mom is and was. So it says like, she fought, she overcame, she loved, she cared, she mothered, she cried, she expected, she felt, she was here, she, I can't read it because it started to fade. But then back here, I have, like, you would never see this. If you just, like, open my closet and like, hey, sir, I mean, you might be able to see that. But if you're just like, yo, can I just borrow a shirt? I'd be like, yeah, borrow a shirt. But I have, like, a picture of my grandma pushing me in a swing. And then I have some stuff written over here. I have stuff written over here. And it's just, like I said, nobody, hold on. This is all from you guys, but nobody's gonna see that stuff. And as chaotic as the world is, and you know, our minds are, and I know everybody's always like, simplicity is this, minimalism is this. I love having stuff absolutely everywhere. It makes me feel like, you know, I'm still surrounded by a whole bunch of energy, and it's very positive energy. And that's another thing that I have on my list, is either reorganizing a room or completely just like decorate something. Buy a billboard. Like I have a whole like bulletin board like this. And I want to do a little video itself showing you guys everything that's on there and like everything that's on my bookshelves, because it brings me so much comfort. It's like simplicity as child stuff, as we were when we were a child. I think it's so important for us to still feel that inner excitement and inner peace, and inner being that we felt when we were children. That's one of the ways that I am able to feel that inner child still, is doing art, writing on my walls, just getting my thoughts out in other ways that is just sitting here crying and feeling like I'm stuck. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel stuck. But it is also okay to find other avenues and other ways to express ourselves, to let our feelings and emotions flow through the funnel hole. So my next thing on my list is, which you guys already know is something that I love so much and it's so dear to me, is gardening. It's okay if it's cold outside. Inside is nice. Inside plants can thrive. You can grow plants in water. Tree growing in water. You're welcome. I've learned so much. I have expanded my mind and my appreciation for life through gardening and through nature. I've experienced life. I've experienced death. Not all of it, you know, not even close, but I have learned so many things that I would have never learned through a person, through a movie, you know, that's technically a person, through a book, which is still a person. You can learn a lot through nature, and it's animals too. So when you start gardening, you also realize like how many animals it takes to also sustain a system. So it's really cool. It's really cool. So the next one is clean and do laundry. Key. I can't tell you how key it is to wash your sheets. I can't tell you it is how key to just wash your towels. How key it is to wash everything. It'll help you feel clean. It'll help you release all of the energy. I personally think like when you sweat out some energy too. Obviously, you know, you're expressing stuff, and it being stuck on your clothing or on your bed or on your pillow when you go to sleep, I think it puts us in a mingle. So cleaning and vacuuming and doing laundry, I mean, my friend Kayla, I made her come with me. It's not like I have to make her do anything. She's stuck with me. But I was like, dude, I need to buy a new vacuum. And it was when I was just really like having a hard time, and cleaning was hard for me. As much as though I was like getting stuff done and still going, I was still having a hard time. So that's why I'm telling you guys, it's okay to have a hard time, but it's not okay to let that hard time hinder your progress. I'm sorry, but it cannot happen. It can't happen. And I'm telling you that from experience. You might go through it and experience yourself, but then in the end you'll realize that, like I'm saying in this list, there's still a lot we can do while we are stuck, while we feel like there's no hope, while we feel useless. None of that is true. It is all temporary feelings, and I think by temporarily expelling our feelings through these little mundane tasks, it can really help. So cleaning and doing laundry and vacuuming is really helpful personally for me. I already talked about rearranging a room, but rearrange stuff. Put your bed in a different position, you know? Put a bookshelf somewhere it has never been before. Maybe put a new rug somewhere. Just rearrange your stuff, and you'll see that the art of feng shui is actually real. It's really interesting, too. My next thing on my list is take a hike. I know this has to do with hand-in-hand with nature, but we can still take a walk, and I feel like when we're moving and not in a non-spiritually productive way. And I mean a non-spiritually productive way because we can be moving while we're at work, we can be moving while we're at school, but that doesn't mean that we are alone with our thoughts and have even the capacity with whatever is happening around us to be able to be moving around and not only be one with nature but one with ourselves. And we'll kind of realize that our thoughts are able to float through nature while we're walking through it, if that makes sense. And whether it be in the snow, some of you guys will send me videos of you guys walking into the snow, and my amazing friend sent me a video of an otter slide she found, and it's just like the things you come across will almost make you completely forget about the negativity that's happening and just kind of be like, okay, there's still life, and just the world is still existing outside of what's going on in my head. And I think sometimes realizing that can really help us, and going through nature and taking a little hike by yourselves or with a loved one or with a friend, I think it's very, very helpful. I know it's helpful. I don't just think. My next one is playing with animals or taking care of them. I have snakes now. I have fishes now. I got my cat. I got a dog. Having other beings to take care of that aren't just plants also helps show an appreciation for life and just caring. It helps you care more, and when you care more about yourself and care more about animals, it helps you care more for people, and it helps you be more understanding. Dogs can be crazy. People can be crazy, you know. Sometimes a dog can bite you, and sometimes other people can bite you, but it's understanding why and maybe what's going through that person's head or that animal's head. As silly as it sounds, I feel like we're so close to animals and nature. We like to separate ourselves as humans because we're so cool and we're so clean and perfect. You know, how can we ever be compared to an animal like a goat or a pig? But I feel like the more that we are around animals, the more we see how much we have in common with them and how much of, you know, innate beings they are themselves. So I really think that helps ground me and relaxes me, is just caring for animals, whether that be insects, whether that be plants. Sorry, that's not an animal. Whether that be fishes, snails. There's anything out there. Next is I have listened to a podcast or a useful video. Again, I have this written here, but I also think that it can also go, like, it's like a two-sided coin, obviously. But I wrote down hang with family / loved ones and friends. That can work in multiple ways. You know, that can be something that can help us be relaxing, but I also want you guys to know that it's okay to take time to yourselves. And I've wanted to make a video about this for a really long time, but sometimes being around family or loved ones, especially like during the holidays or when you're just, you know, trying to figure out what the heck is going on, it can almost be more harmful for us than it is beneficial. You know, it can rile up a whole bunch of past memories or traumas, or it can just override you with so much anxiety that it's like, what the hell, why am I putting myself in this position? And it's just, I want you to know that it is okay to use friends and family, and it's also okay to not hang around them and to need to just take time to yourself. So when I wrote that down, I was like, yeah, dude, just go hang out with your family or loved ones. But then I'm like, dude, there's so many times where you have not been able to do that simply because, you know, you just can't, you know. And that's okay. I don't want anybody to literally beat themselves up and smack themselves on the wrist for needing to just take care of themselves. That is so important. My next one, which can be helpful too, is texting a loved one. If you're having a hard time going to see them, or if, you know, you just want to just talk to somebody you haven't talked to in a long time, sometimes it's cool to reach out to, you know, old aunts or uncles or cousins that you haven't talked to in a while, because, you know, I say you might live in different states or countries and life is just crazy. Maybe some people are starting to raise a family, or some people are going to school or just working all the time, you know. It's sometimes it feels good, even if they don't text you back, to just reach out. It could be an old teacher or something that you might have an email of, you know, anything like that. But I have found that when I have something in me that either I'm thinking of somebody, or, you know, I think of a really good memory I had. Like, I had an old daycare teacher that I still had her phone number, and I just remember how fun she made my childhood. And I just wanted to thank her, and as awkward or as weird as it might have felt for me to be like, oh, let me just randomly tell this person thank you, and you mean so much to me out of the blue. That's annoying. There it goes. Sorry, there's literally rattling in the ceiling. But it really just, it brought me joy when I sent the text out, because I was like, well, at least I got it off my chest. I had the thought, you know, that came into my mind for a reason, so why not, you know, just tell them thank you, and I hope you're doing well. And, you know, she ended up texting back and was like, holy moly, dude, like, those were the best times of my life, too. And I'm just like, you know, it's cool to also, you know, remind other people of the good times while bad times are happening. And I don't mean that out of, like, toxic positivity, but just a little reminder of, like, you know, remember the good old days. It can bring some nostalgia that just, you know, can just bring you peace to at least know you felt that at one point. There's a great chance you'll feel it again, even if it's not right now. So my next one is to read a book. You guys know me, I'm surrounded by them, and I'll never stop, never will. I love books. I love the messages they bring, the ideas they can expand your mind with, or the stories they can tell you and temporarily distract you from some of the stuff that's going on. I think it's awesome. So, you know, don't just limit yourself to learning all the time. Sometimes it's okay to take a break and read a funny story, or, you know, a suspenseful story. But something that can just bring your mind at ease and allow your imagination to also work at the same time. Sometimes it's hard for our imaginations to work when we're sitting here studying textbook material. You know, it's like, what freaking picture can I paint in my head? When we read books that, you know, actually have characters and plots and a story to follow, it helps us just put a little daydream in our head, and I think it could be very beneficial, especially during chaotic times. I'm only going to list a couple because this video is getting long, and I think you guys kind of get the point of when I said I would like you to also make a list of the things you do, because I don't want to just sit here and ramble on about all the stuff that I do to make myself feel good. I just want to just point out all of the different things that are out there. So real quickly, I have play a game, whether that be a word game, Sudoku, download a game on your phone. I don't care how childish it may seem or feel. Download a game, play it, it's fun. Learn something new. I promise you. Learn about new things, and you'll kind of be like, damn, while I'm over here worried about Betsy and Johnson, I could be learning about the life of a silkworm and how I thought it'd be a beautiful story, but really nah. It's not. So next I have, Pamper. You can pamper yourself. For the first time in I don't know how long, I painted my toenails. I have an amazing cruelty-free and vegan nail polish brand that I really want to talk to you guys about. I'll do it in another video. Paint your nails is something that I have found is really helpful, and I'm not really one to want to wear stuff on my nails. One, because I like literally cannot stop my anxiety from chewing on my fingernails. So that's why I've just been hesitating with like showing you guys the polish, because yeah. Anyway, tangent again. So right under that, but I have more self-care. You could put on a face mask, you guys. It always feels amazing to do that. You can shave your legs. That's something that always makes me feel really good. You can take a bath. You can do your hair. When I do my hair, it makes me feel absolutely amazing. Next, I have on my list is doing my makeup. I make a makeup tutorial. I do a YouTube video. And last but not least, I have on here that I create a vision board. And a vision board, you guys, does not have to be specifically, subjectively, meticulously made for New Year's. It doesn't. You can make a vision board for your day. You can make a vision board for your week, for your next 3 months. I learned, because I did one for the first time and I recorded it, making a vision board is very fun. The process of sticking up to that, knowing that time passes on and sometimes it's hard to always meet our goals, especially when they're like second-hand goals, because a lot of the stuff on my board, they weren't things that I really needed to do. Like, I didn't put get a new hot water heater, and my hot water heater ended up going out, completely leaking and ruining my ceiling. If I would have had that on my vision board, and that would have been one of my #1 goals, ding, 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 I would have probably gotten that done, and I wouldn't have been worried about, what was something goofy on my list? My throat's dry. I've been talking so long. I am gonna hurry this up, but I don't know what something. I think one of the silly ones was like read more books, like something that I knew I was already gonna do. It makes me laugh sitting here thinking about it now. But making a vision board and understanding that it could be for any time period. It could be long, it could be short, but understanding that sometimes if it's like long periods and you want to add in 50 goals and not realizing that months pass like this, and like sometimes it takes 4 months to accomplish one side goal or maybe one huge main priority goal. Making a vision board, one, shows us how fast time can go. That's my experience. And it can also show us the things that we are able to accomplish that we didn't think we really would. Like one of mine was get a Doberman. I did that. I didn't think I would, but I did that. And it was crazy. Something else that the vision board helped me realize was every single thing that, like every success and cool, amazing opportunity that you have, it doesn't always have to be shared with the public. So, like I told you, I have had my Doberman for a year now. So, for 12 months, I showed her in a video once. And it was just interesting just to realize and to learn that it's okay to keep up with life and to not document every single thing, to not feel like we have to capture everything and share it on social media or share it to everybody else, to just understand that the vision of our life is for us. Not everybody has to see it. Mrs. Jones across the street and her 17 neighbors, they don't need to see it, and they might not care. So understanding that the main person who we need to focus on is ourselves. The main person that we need to understand needs to care the most is ourselves. And the reason I say that is because sometimes it's hard to give a damn, and even about ourselves. Like I'm telling you this from personal experience. Like if I gave a damn about my hair and was more just like, you know, here and not here, I would be taking care of a whole, if that makes sense. So that's why I think understanding that grounding ourselves needs to be on like a variety of different levels. It needs to be on a physical level, on a spiritual level, on a social level, on a personal level, like a creative level, the artistic level, you know? Because without a harmonious sum of a whole, we're still gonna feel kind of chaotic, you know? So that's why I'm saying, if we at least take a little bit of time to at least incorporate a couple things, like going for a 5-minute walk and writing for 3 minutes and then doodling for 2 minutes, that's like 5, 2, 4, 9 out of a 24-hour day. You see what I mean? So I think if we start not just always journaling, because, you know, we can't just always be focusing on what's in our head, then we're not focusing on our bodies, then we're not, you know, caring to our bodies. Our bodies are a huge organ. I mean, it doesn't stop on the inside. Our skin is a huge organ. Like, our hair is an essential part of our body, too. We have to take care of it all. Our environment, our room, you know, our animals, our friends, our family. That's why we have to try to work on everything. I know that it might sound challenging and hard, but when we put them, and that's why I want you to write them down, because you'll realize that the whole list, each one of those is such a small thing. And each one of those doesn't take 5 hours of the day to accomplish. They shouldn't. You know, it shouldn't take us 5 hours to ground ourselves. We need to have a little simple task that we can just be like, alright, I step out, whether that be I closed my eyes and took a deep breath for 3 times. I used to do that in college all the time, and it was stupid how when I really focused on doing it, how much it helped me. If we have these little things, even if it's we do 5 push-ups when we wake up, 2 push-ups. I'm not talking about gaining muscle. I'm not talking about losing weight. It's just getting our body physical for a second and just not focusing on a math equation or focusing on what our best friend is doing or what our boyfriend is doing or what our ex-boyfriend is doing or what our ex-cousin's boyfriend is doing. That was funny. You know, it's just kind of like, oh, I'm able to ground myself in a lot more ways than possible. And maybe we've all just been kind of razzle-dazzled in our heads that we haven't been like, oh, I do have a couple minutes before I go to bed every night that I'm spending on my phone that I could be doing something else, you know? Or hey, when I do my makeup in the morning, sometimes I just find myself sitting there going crazy in my head, getting anxious about the day ahead of me that hasn't even started yet, When in reality, you could pop on a YouTube video, listen to somebody talk funny, you know? Listen to stand-up comedy. Just, that should have been something else I put on my list. I love listening to stand-up comedy. People are so funny. It's okay to laugh during times of chaos. Because if we don't allow ourselves that little break, we're gonna blow up in the chaos. Not literally, but figuratively, you know, mentally. We're gonna go berserk. We're gonna go crazy because we haven't been expressing ourselves in the way we need to. And I'm not saying expressing to the whole world, but just expressing our thoughts, our opinions, our emotions. You know, our perceptions, our theories. Like, don't allow anything to dim your light. And I've been trying my hardest I can to help you guys understand that and encourage you guys to never do so. Cool, we can out here be candle lighters, but we can never allow anything else out there to dim our light. We can be out here trying to light everybody's candles, but if ours is kind of sinking, even if it's still lit, dude, even if it's sinking just a little bit, we can't let that happen. And if we took that second, you know when you kind of step away from a candle and you realize the smoke just starts, oh, the flame is just nice and strong by itself, but if you look at it and you breathe on it a little too close, it starts going weird, or you might shake the table, or heck, the breeze and the wind might come by. It starts being a little frazzled. Well, when that flame allows it the time to rest, for a time to just ground itself, it produces the best light possible. But it's because it's allowed its time by itself. It's allowed its time away from external stimuli. You just let yourself go. If you've ever played on a Wii Fit board, they have that one thing where you have to sit there and you literally are the candle. And every time you move, you're sitting on the board. And every time the flame's like woo, 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 woo. Life is like that, you know, and we gotta keep our flames good, you guys. We gotta keep our flames ignited. We have to, because if they don't, nobody can see us, nobody can hear us, nobody can feel us. You know what I mean? Think about it. We have to allow our candles to stay aflame. Because then what happens also, too, if we have a flame that is still lit, somebody way off in the distance who might feel like they're lost and have no hope, they can at least see the smoke. They can at least know that, hey, if I make it over this hill, I can meet the flame and maybe they can help relight my wick that burnt out. Because maybe you ran out of fuel, and that's okay. You gotta gather fuel. Whether that be making your own, whether that be going to a loved one. There's people out here. I'm always here, dude. I will always give you fuel. I will make fuel out of my own flesh. Okay, I wouldn't really, because I need this for this experience at least. But I'm telling you, dude, I will do what I need to help light your candle. If anybody is starting to dim your candle, you have to have the self-initiative and the self-authority to understand that your flame is more important than anybody else's. Because like I said, what if somebody else runs into you while your flame is unlit and their flame is unlit? Are you guys just going to rub booties and hope like a fire is magically going to come from the friction? No. No. Gotta keep that flame lit. So, yeah. If anything, we can make it a challenge again. A little homework assignment. Write down a list of ways that you ground yourselves and send me a picture. Whether that be through email, whether that be on Instagram. Yeah, I just think it's also very beneficial that we keep using social media as a means of growing, expanding, educating, creating a difference. So, yeah, from me to you, love you, sucker, and I will see you later, alligator. Oh, real quick, with all this weird shit that's going on, remember my last video, my video titled Past and Future? If you haven't watched that, go watch my video, Past and Future. You should have already done it. You wouldn't be so stressed out right now. Remember I talked about the Transition Integrity Project, the simulation that was put on back in June? What's happening right now, you guys? What is happening right now? All I gotta say, I don't want this video to be weird on the algorithm. That's all I gotta say. Go watch that video of mine. That could take your mind off of things too and help you understand the world a little bit better. But yeah, I'll be around. I will be around. Don't you worry.